Hello everyone, welcome to my channel. I hope everyone is having a wonderful day. Before starting the video, please go ahead and hit the subscribe button and give this video a like up. Young and restless Billy Flynn drops a big clue that Aristotle Dumas is really, spoiler, and it's not a red herring, either. At first we thought that maybe we were reading too much into what Billy Flynn said in confirming to us weekly that he is playing the young and the restless Aristotle Dumas. Then again, maybe not. Spoiler alert, maybe not was the right answer. The actor, who made his first appearance in the Friday, June 20th, episode likened his character to the person behind The Great Gatsby. If you'll recall, in F. Scott Fitzgerald's classic novel, Mysterious Millionaire J. Gatsby is really Jimmy Gats, a bootlegger made good. Throughout the book, he endeavors to win back the affections of lost love Daisy Buchanan, sounded to us an awful lot like Cane Ashby, who originally came to Genoa City as a bartender passing himself off as Philip Chancellor and ultimately blew it, repeatedly, with Lily Winters, aka the woman meant to be his endgame. So our hunch was that when Dumas revealed himself, reactions would range from, well, Cane Ashby, I'll be damned, to, wow, you sure look different, Cane, and what happened to your Australian accent? The article even came out and said that Flynn would be able to comment further after Dumas joined his party guests, in other words, after they as well as viewers were made aware that he is really Cane. And surprise, we were right. Dumas did turn out to be the long MIA grifter. Read the recap here and get a sense of what's to come. Lily's former spouse was originally played from 2007 to 19 by Daniel Goddard, who is now a regular on General Hospital as Professor Henry Dalton. If there's one thing the young and the restless knows how to do well, it's drop a bombshell, and then let the fallout reshape the entire canvas. And now, thanks to new comments from Billy Flynn, the actor portraying the mysterious billionaire Aristotle Dumas, we may be on the verge of one of the show's biggest identity twists in years. I can't say it out loud, Flynn teased in a behind-the-scenes interview, but if you've been paying attention, you already know who he really is. And no, it's not a red herring. And with that cryptic confirmation, the internet exploded, because fans are now convinced Aristotle Dumas is actually the long-lost son of, spoiler, none other than Victor Newman. Yes, that Victor Newman. The mogul. The icon. The man who's faced off with Jack Abbott, buried more enemies than most crime families, and still shows up in a suit sharper than his enemies' knives. If the theory is true, and Flynn is certainly feeding the flames, then this isn't just a shocking twist. It's a seismic shift in the power dynamics of Genoa City, and it all starts with a clue so subtle, it's only obvious in hindsight. Rewind, who is Aristotle Dumas? Introduced earlier this year as a mysterious billionaire investor with global reach and shadowy connections, Aristotle Dumas arrived in Genoa City under the pretense of doing business with the Newmans, Chancellors, and Winters. He was suave, hyper-intelligent, and oddly well-informed about the intimate histories of Genoa City's elite. At first, fans assumed he was a standard soap newcomer, rich, intriguing, with a dark agenda, but then came the inconsistencies. He recognized Nikki's favorite Parisian perfume before she even entered a room. He quoted a business philosophy Victor used in season 22, verbatim. He lingered just a little too long while watching Victoria argue with Adam, and in a chilling monologue to himself, Dumas once muttered, he always thought power was earned. It's inherited. I'll prove it. Those weren't throwaway lines. They were breadcrumbs, and according to Flynn, they were deliberate. Billy Flynn speaks. The answers are already on screen. In a recent featurette released on the official Young and Restless YouTube page, Flynn sat down to discuss the challenge of playing a character with multiple layers of identity. But then came the curveball. A lot of fans think Dumas is just a businessman. Or maybe some leftover pawn from Ian Ward's schemes. But the truth is, we're already telling you who he is. When pressed further, Flynn grinned. He's connected to someone powerful. Someone very familiar to the audience. This story goes all the way back to the 80s. And no, it's not a red herring. It's the story. It's the whole story. The statement lit a fire under fan theories. And one theory in particular is gaining steam. Fast. Is Dumas actually Victor Newman's son? The prevailing theory? That Aristotle Dumas is actually Nathaniel Duval, the illegitimate son Victor fathered during a secret affair in the 1980s, a plotline referenced but never fully explored. Here's the history that supports the idea. 1. The Duval affair. Longtime fans may recall that in the mid-80s, Victor had a brief, and barely on-screen, liaison with a woman named Celeste Duval, an international art broker. At the time, Celeste disappeared under mysterious circumstances. Years later, it was revealed through a series of offhand comments that Celeste had a child. But that child's identity, and whether Victor ever met him, was never addressed again. Could Aristotle Dumas be that child, now grown and back for revenge, or recognition? 2. His intimate knowledge of the Newmans. Dumas has shown a disturbing knack for getting under the skin of everyone from Nick to Nicky. He knows more than any outsider should, not just facts, but mannerisms, histories, and secrets. As if he's studied them his entire life. Or lived without them. 3. The timing of his arrival. Dumas first appeared just as Victor was launching new expansions of Newman Media, and as family tensions reached a fever pitch with Adam and Victoria. If Dumas was inserted into this moment to exploit cracks in the Newman empire, or to claim a piece of it, the timing couldn't be more perfect. Flynn adds fuel to the fire. When asked about scenes with Eric Braeden, Victor, Flynn dropped this gem: those scenes have this pressure to them. Like a father and son who don't know how to speak the same language. There's respect, but also something else. Like memory. Like resentment. And when asked if Dumas has a secret connection to any core family, Flynn paused before saying, let's just say, Dumas has more in common with the Newmans than he does with the Abbotts or Winters. Mike dropped other theories gaining traction. While the Victor's son theory is the frontrunner, fans are also speculating several other possible identities for Dumas. 1. Jack Abbott's half-brother. Some believe Dumas may be Dina Murgeron's child from a post-Stuart Brooks affair, making him Jack's half-brother and giving him a reason to hate both the Abbotts and Newmans. 2. A grown-up Christian Newman. Though the timeline is fuzzy, some fans think a SORAS, soap opera rapid aging syndrome, version of Christian could have been taken and raised in secret, only to return under a new identity. This theory is considered more far-fetched but hasn't been ruled out. 3. The biological son of Adam Newman. In an even wilder twist, some speculate that Dumas is actually the adult child of Adam and a woman from his Vegas years, sent back to destroy the family that rejected his father. But Flynn's own comments seem to center Dumas' story squarely in Victor's legacy, not Adam's or Jack's. What this means for the show if Dumas is Victor's son. The implications are massive: power shift at Newman Enterprises. A legitimate claim to Victor's fortune and company would upend the ongoing battles between Victoria, Adam, and Nick. Nicky's breakdown. Nicky, already haunted by the past, may have known about Victor's affair and stayed silent. Dumas' presence could unearth long-buried guilt and threaten her sobriety. A sibling showdown. Imagine Adam discovering he has yet another brother, one more cunning and composed than he is. The rivalry writes itself. A redemption arc? Could Dumas eventually want not revenge, but acceptance? Or is this story destined for blood and boardroom wars? Fans are here for it. The theory has taken over fan forums, Reddit, and social media, with #VictorSon trending on X, formerly Twitter. Shortly after Flynn's interview aired, Billy Flynn is eating this role. One user posted, I knew he had to be Victor's. The stare-downs alone are giving dynasty-level father-son energy. This is the long-lost child story we deserved a decade ago. What's next for Aristotle Dumas? Spoilers tease a major Young and Restless event coming in midsummer, one that centers on Dumas, a shocking will reading, and the appearance of a mysterious woman from Victor's past. Could it be Celeste Duval herself? Or a confidant carrying DNA results? According to teasers, a late July episode will feature Victor confronting Dumas with 5 chilling words: what do you really want? And Dumas' answer: everything you denied me. Final thoughts: a legacy rewritten in a show built on family dynasties, generational drama, and long-buried secrets. Few twists would be more poetic, or more dangerous, than Victor Newman discovering he has another heir, especially one who's smarter than Nick, colder than Adam, and more poised than Victoria. If Billy Flynn is right, and if this truly isn't a red herring, The Young and the Restless may be headed for its most thrilling shakeup in years, and the throne in Genoa City, it may no longer belong to the man who built it, but to the son who was never meant to sit there.